Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl and we are going strong with Vlogmas. Today I have something very heavy on my heart to talk to you about. It's gonna be deep, isn't it? I figured I will start a little bit with my story to give you a little bit of background, okay? Because I've been online for a really long time. I've been online for about 12 years creating videos mainly around natural hair. My first video I think was uploaded in like 2011 or something like that. So I've been around. And many don't know this, but this platform started as an outlet for me. At the time I was coping or couldn't really cope with the death of my father, and I just needed something to get away from life. I needed something to keep me going, and hair saved my life basically. And I knew I needed to take care of myself because I hadn't let myself go. Obviously I was deeply depressed. I was having a hard time. And a year after my father passed away, I was like, okay, I need to get myself together a little bit. So then I started taking care of my hair, and that's what eventually started the foundation of this platform. Now back then my hair was falling out in clumps. Let me tell you something. Stress, improper hair care, me not knowing what the hell I was doing with my hair, all of that contributed to my hair falling out in clumps. I was 20 years old facing my natural hair for the very first time. I was like, what the hell do I do with this hair? Up until that point, I was just in protective styles back to back to back, you know, really not caring for my hair, not dealing with my hair. The protective style was just a way to put my hair away for a month or two, not do anything to it, and then do it all over again. So essentially I really wasn't seeing or dealing with my hair. So when I started this platform almost 12 years ago now, I was facing my hair and I had no idea what to do with it. Of course, I went online. Google led me to the hair care forums, which eventually led me to YouTube. And on YouTube, I realized that there was a huge lack of representation in this space. A lot of us just didn't know what to do with our hair. And if you went to a stylist, they either wanted to give you a relaxer or give you a press and curl. Those were your options. And that's how the OG natural hair influencers were born. We basically started to experiment with our hair and was like, what the hell can we do? How are we going to take care of our hair? Somebody send help. So before we move on, let's describe what an influencer is, you know? Because it took me a while for me to even identify as an influencer, and it hit me last year when I stopped using oils and butters in my hair. And a lot of people were sending me messages saying that I need to take accountability for what I've done, and we've been pushing oils and butters and ruining people's hair for so long, and influencers has a huge role to play. And that's why I wanted to give you a little background story, because I felt some sort of way about that, especially when we started in a space where there was no information, stylists weren't around to turn around and say that we are the reason. I don't know, it hits home for me. So an influencer basically is a person who inspires, guides, or essentially influences someone to take action on something. So with that definition, you can argue that we are all influencers. You think about where hair care information started from, from generation to generation, and then from word of mouth. You think about, I don't know, your mom going to a stylist who said use this, and your mom telling your aunt to use this, and then we graduated to hair care forums where we were sharing full regimen. I don't know if y'all remember those days. If you are that old, we were sharing step-by-step regimen of what we're using, products we're using, etc., to now being on YouTube. So I can for sure say when I started, there was a huge lack of information in the hair care space, and we were trying everything and seeing what works. So essentially we were experimenting on ourselves. To be fair, I feel like that's where the idea of do what works for you originated from. What works for you is not going to work for me, because we're all trying out random things and sharing the information, and maybe I liked it and maybe I didn't like it. So do what works for you. So now the real question, are influencers to blame? Well, before I get into that question, I feel like I should say that not all influencers are created equal. There are influencers on this platform right now that are pushing products. It's product review after product review. And also there's the ones that are just selling you a dream. Use this one recipe and your hair will never stop growing. Or maximum hydration, this and that. And your hair will grow 17 inches in 2 seconds if you do this recipe. There are these type of influencers, and can't take that away from the audience. These are the people that are pushing and selling a dream constantly. And then there's the rest of us that I think have simplified our routine from the good old days of using everything. Because let's face it, back in the day, I did every single method and recipe and whatever that's under the sun. I'm not even gonna lie. I was trying everything to see what worked, to see what stuck, what I like or what I didn't like. And over the years, of course, I started simplifying my method. And that's what I would share. My experience, what I would do to my hair. If you liked it, cool. If you watch, cool. If you didn't watch, cool. I was just sharing my hair. And I think the representation was really important. Just seeing real 4C hair, as we say. And I know we don't like using the hair care chart anymore, but I think it's fair to say that tight kinky hair is not the norm. It's not what does well. It's not what's represented. And ironically enough, most of us Black women have tight, kinky, curly hair. So yes, there are some influencers that have pushed and sold a dream. But at the same time, when you think about the views that they get on their videos, is that the influencer or is that the audience? That's what the audience wants to see. You can tell someone until you are dry in the mouth that they don't need to use a ton of products. They'll be like, anyways, I'm gonna go over there where they are using a ton of products. And I get it. We all like what we like. I like changing up my products as well. I'm not gonna lie. There's a little part of me that is still a product junkie. I like using different things. So there's nothing wrong with liking different things and wanting to use different things. But when you see the views on these videos that are doing well, the videos that are selling you a dream, that are almost feeding into that insecurity that we have when it comes to growing our hair, those videos do amazingly well. Honestly, at this point, I probably should start creating maximum hydration videos as well as, I don't know, hair growth recipes, because those do phenomenally well. Those are the only natural hair creators right now that are making a living on this platform. Is that the creator or is that the audience? If you post a video about hair growth, minimum 100K views. I'm also learning as I get older now that hair health and hair length are two different things. There's a lot of us that value long hair. It doesn't matter the health, doesn't matter how stringy your ends are, it doesn't matter how dandruffy your scalp is, as long as you are growing that hair. That's what some people want. And then there are some of us that are growing out of that and they are valuing health. They want better products, better quality products. They want their hair to be in tip-top shape. But I find that category of people is probably still in the minority. So if you're creating videos about a minimalistic approach to hair care or simple hair care, it's not going to get views because the pool of people that are interested in this type of videos is still pretty minimal. A lot of us want length. A lot of us want long hair at any cost, any means necessary. And I feel like that's feeding into the type of influencers that are excelling on the platform. It's feeding into the type of influencers that are being created almost. You could start with integrity, but once you start seeing the difference in views, I'm telling you, even I am gonna start pumping out some of these hair growth videos. Being a creator is a lot of work. I think I see the late nights. I see the long days of filming, editing, creating. So I have a different perspective on the issue. But then at the same time, I also see brands and how they are pushing a lot of products. They are using certain language in their products so that it sell, because that's what we want to hear. You want a product that's gonna grow your hair. You want a product that's gonna keep your hair moisturized. Even though it's an oil, it will say it's going to moisturize your hair. Like the language that they're using, they are selling us a dream and it's working. They're pushing what sells. So are they to blame as well? Because they're giving you hair growth in a bottle, which a lot of the time doesn't work. Are they to blame, or are we quick to forgive them or not even think about it? Because at the end of the day, do what works for you. So if you buy a product and it doesn't work, well, I guess it just didn't work for me. Meanwhile, it probably doesn't work for everyone. I take it personally, even though I know I shouldn't when people blame influencers for the state of their hair. Because at the end of the day, I think the audience also has to take accountability as well when it comes to what they do to their hair and just use their own discretion. If you're trying something and it really doesn't work, if someone is using a different product in every video, doesn't that make you wonder? Don't you question that a little bit? Like, I don't know, is it the cloves that are working, or is it the olive oil? Is it the coconut oil? Is it this product? Is it that product? How do you know which one works if you're using 25 million products? And the idea of products working to begin with, I think that's what is steering us in the wrong direction, because if you really want long healthy hair, it really starts from within. You're not going to get long healthy hair from a bottle. It can support your length retention, sure. Obviously you want to keep your hair moisturized and hydrated, which comes from water anyway, but moisturized, you want to keep the water in. But hair growth is not going to come in a bottle. It comes from your scalp. Natural hair are honestly the most underpaid influencers out there. I truly believe it. That's why a lot of us are switching into lifestyle or just different interests, because it's not sustainable. I am feeling it right now. I am struggling right now, I could say, when it comes to my platforms, because they're not paying the bill, girl. I don't know why I'm still doing it, to be honest. Some days I really question how long I can continue being a hair influencer, especially given the backlash that we get and just how hard it is to navigate this space in terms of brands, sponsorships, and income. I also have, kinky hair, and I feel like a lot of brands don't really sponsor influencers that look like me. I don't know, maybe influencers have jacked up people's hair, but did we not have jack up hair before influencers came into the scene? I don't know. I feel like we've forgotten what our hair was like back in the days, because if anything, I feel like Black women are growing their hair now. We're taking care of our hair now. We know that it's possible. We see the representation, and it's so important to have that representation, to be able to see someone's hair grow long and be like, you know what? If they can do it, I can do it. Let the expert do the education. I'm all for that. You know, I am for the expert doing the education. The only issue is that they weren't there back in the day. And I hope you understand and realize with stylists doing the education now, they are becoming the new influencers. They are doing exactly what we're doing. And mind you, it's not like natural hair is taught in cosmetology school. So yeah, I have a cosmetology license. Really doesn't mean much. But I do understand that they deal with a lot of different hairs, different textures. They have a well-rounded education when it comes to hair care. So yes, of course, do the education. But they are influencing you to do a method. And they're also influencing you to buy certain type of products conveniently with their affiliate links placed in their bio or whatever. So it's basically the same thing. Influencers will always be there, whether it's someone like me who's just sharing their experience on the platform or a stylist who is sharing their experience on their platform. We are basically all influencers. I still believe that influencers have an important role to play because seeing the diversity of black hair on my timeline on YouTube, there's nothing that warms my heart more because I remember back in the day, there was none of that. Especially not on TV. Even now in the media, there is a lack of representation when we see our hair. The curlier textures, of course, but us? Okay. Of course, you should always use your discretion when you are following someone and their method, obviously. Follow me if you want to see that true 4C hair representation. Follow me if you want to show your daughters that true 4C hair representation, to see that it's possible to grow your hair, to enjoy your hair, to cut your hair, to be confident in your hair, and not to hide behind other people's hair. Honestly, follow me if you want to see this real 4C hair. I think we've all been discriminated against when it comes to our natural hair, and it's very important for us to stick together now more than ever versus dividing, pinning ourselves against each other, because what good is that going to do? Of course, I share my story, and I think I always will. I share my experience. I share products that I've used that I didn't like, methods that I've used that I didn't like. And a lot of the time for me, it's methods when it comes to natural hair. How are you taking care of your hair? It rarely has anything to do with products because at the end of the day, there's a billion products out there and there is a million of them that's going to work for you. We're really not that unique. Obviously, I'm on a new journey now where I'm not using oils and butters in my hair. All the videos where I did use oils are still up. And right now you're going to see the new journey. I hope that's interesting to you. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Have influencers ruined the natural hair community? Let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you tomorrow for another video. Bye.